Well, hello to everybody. I'm BC and welcome back to In My Shed. It's a crisp, cool Saturday, but it's a lot better than yesterday. At least that wind isn't blowing. Today I've got a little bit of a fall on my sword. I sharpened the countersink for a fellow who's contributed a lot of high-speed tooling and some diamond wheels to the effort here, and I put no bloody clearance on it. A bit of a faux pas, I don't know what happened, but we'll put it up on the tool and cutter grinder and use the DTI to see just how much clearance it hasn't got, and then we'll show you setting up the former leaf grinder that I use to grind these tools. Something we've done before, but I don't think I've shown measuring the drop behind as the ink's flawed. Okay, bring you in closer and do a test. Here we are back again on the countersink. I've set it up in the work head for the Clarkson tool and cutter grinder and a DTI on the back of it, and now you can see my folly. The indicator will show us the change in height from just behind the cutting tooth to the back of the land, and bugger me, there's nothing. So that's why it won't cut. You would expect a drop of about 15th thou there, where we're getting 0.02 of a millimetre, which is a bit like a fairy's fart. And all the teeth are very similar. See that one we managed to get 0.05 of a millimetre? And what's that, about 1.4 thou, something like that. So the tool just rubs, nowhere near ground properly. I've got a sneaking suspicion that I didn't push the rocker arm all the way in, and I'll show you that on the tool and cutter grinder in just a few minutes. Back soon. And here's a look at the cam mechanism on the back of the attachment. This is the cam here. Pushes against this roller, and the rocker arm distributes the amount of push either in the axial direction or the radial direction. In this case, I've tightened up a lock screw down the bottom so we only get axial movement. You can also change the ratio of axial and radial by changing the position of the pivot bolt. But when you move that back to change the cam, there's a slide down the bottom here that you have to release to pull the whole mechanism back, to pull the cam back this way. And I probably didn't push the whole cam assembly back in so that this roller was actively pushing against the cam. In that case, it would have gone through the motions but done absolutely nothing. Also, while we're here, show you how it looks like when it's moving, and we might get to see a bit of that later on. And when we go to set it up, we drop this plate into that slot. That times the spindle to the cam, and then you time the countersink to the chuck. And I'll show you how that's done in a sec. So very, very easy to set up, very reliable. It's only been working for about 65 years, even longer than me. And surprisingly, all of the wear parts here are in fantastic condition. They're just made out of super good quality steel, hardened very well in the factory, and very, very long life in it. Okay, move you around and show you the working end. Okay, back again. To finish timing the workpiece to the tool, we have our indexer in there. The tool is loose in the chuck, and we want to time the front and rear of the flute vertical or perpendicular to the table. So I use these two gadgets, bring it in from the back, and if the square touches both edges of the flute, top and bottom, then I've got it timed properly. All that's required then is to take out the timing latch, turn the work head around and tighten up the chuck. Why it can't be done where you get access to that, I don't know. But this system works, and it works quite well. So now I'll set it up to run and show you sharpening a countersink. Okay, back again, and we're starting to make a few sparks, just feeding in about 1 thou at a time. Have a look there, you can see they're on 2 out of the 3 teeth. The stone to remove it with the Sharpie. The chop only grabs it within about 1.5 hours, so it takes a couple of hours to get all teeth being cut. There we go, the third one's just coming online now. There we go. All 3 teeth have been ground. One thing you do have to be very careful of is it gets very hot. As my fingers have found out a few times when I've waxed off a little bit. Just a bit more to take up on one of the teeth. Another foul or 2 will be there. Just a couple more to come off now. This is the last part. Okay, I think that should do it for now. Right, back it out. We'll put it back on the DTI. I've now sent it back to the metrology department. I'm pretty sure Jim will be happy with the outcome of his countersink grinding. Now we were getting maybe 1 or 2 hundredths of a millimetre previously, and now we're getting what appears to be 40 hundredths of a millimetre. And that to me I think would be about 16 thousandths of an inch. Being an old bugger, I still talk in thous. So I can't imagine what I did last time, except maybe not engage the cam plate as I showed with the on the bracket. When you change from single rib cam to 3 rib cam, you've got to adjust how much thrust you want, out of it on the sides of the countersink as well, that's depending. So it would be me, bug it up, didn't set it up right. Now another thing I have noticed on some of these cutters, they are extremely hard and tough and difficult to grind material. I don't know what, they use just M2 high-speed steel or some other grade, but it is difficult to grind. Even grinding onto the cutting edge, you sometimes get a slight burr. And I go over it with a little 320 grit handstone if I have to. This time it doesn't feel all that bad. If you don't clean up with the stone when necessary, you can get a fritted edge as you just peel the burr back, and the cutting edge will not last for very long at all. But there we are, just what we're looking for and repeatable. This is a good countersink. Hope you've enjoyed the short video today. Please like and subscribe. See you later.